Ever wonder what sets the winners apart from the losers? And what does it really take to be a winner? My name is Federico, and I'm a young, successful entrepreneur passionate about sports, real estate, mindset, and business. If you are just like me, then the Winning Ways podcast is meant for you. Yo, welcome back to Winning Ways with Fred. My name is Federico and I am your host. Guys, I have a rock star of a guest today. You guys are going to love her. But first, as always, if you guys do find value in this show, please share it. That's the way we are growing the show. Even when we become a top 3 show in the nation, in the world, I'm not going to run ads. It's all going to be based on word of mouth. Without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Rebecca. Rebecca, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. So let's get to it. I was going over your Instagram, going over your notes, super interesting stuff. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now. I was looking at a couple of your reels, really motivational. What's going on with that and where you're headed with that?
Yeah. So I have a business background, and about 2 years ago, I worked with a business coach, and he mentioned to me that he said, I think you'd make a really good coach. You should look into it. So I did. And I just kind of did it on the side for a while, got certified as a life coach. And Now I've just kind of taken it. I'm still working in another position in corporate, but I am doing this trying to grow this business as I go. And I think I've always been kind of an encourager and a motivator. That's always been my thing. I enjoy doing that. So this is just kind of a way to do it and help people, which is my main goal.
That's beautiful. Now walk us through that. When was that fork on the road when you were like, I'm in corporate world, right? But I want to also be a life coach. When did that happen? What was the reason and how did it happen?
So it's interesting because I have two sides. I really love business. I love organization. I love real estate. That's a huge thing for me. But then there's always this other portion where I feel like I'm not giving and I need to give back and help people. Could I go back? I would probably say I should have probably been a therapist or something like that because I very much enjoy that type of thing. But it's all good. So so I just kind of got into the coaching and I love it. And we started by helping friends and one thing led to another. And now I have this side business. So it's been really great.
That's great. And you were mentioning earlier too, how you had a coach or maybe still have the same coach and he or she was the one that opened your eyes to this possibility.
Yeah. I took a Pro D development, which is there's all different kinds of personality tests, but mine came back out and it was life coach. So he's like, you really should look into this. So I did. And I actually started business coaching some of the real estate agents that I was working with. And then again, friends on the side, one thing led to another, and here we are. So
Nice. And that touches too on the importance of having a mentor, coach-like person that kind of guides you and shows you another way that could work that's better. I'm a big believer in coaches and paying for them. I personally have too, and they've been life-changing. This podcast wouldn't be happening if it weren't for them. So it's one of those things that I do agree people should invest in. It's investing in yourself, right? Now, touching on the coaching side, I'm very interested in the mindset, right? Because you come in to coach them and there's different areas that people need coaching. But I think the primary one, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the first thing that they got to correct is their mindset, right? So can we touch on that? What do you come in? What do you tell them? What are some tips to help people with their mindset to think positively and to grow?
Sure. So there are specific mindset coaches. I've worked with some and they, come in and they work strictly with your mindset and how you think, but it really is so important. So one of the things I talk to my clients about is daily affirmations, right? Okay. I used to look at them and think, well, that's stupid. Why would I say these things and recite them in the mirror? What is that going to do for me? Right? I'm a realist. So for me, it's this doesn't make any sense. But then I started doing it. Right. And it has absolutely nothing to do with what you're actually saying. It's rewiring your brain to kind of believe. And all of a sudden you're wait, I am awesome. Like I can do this. Like there is nothing holding me back. So it is just like, it's great to do it in the morning because you wake up and you kind of set your intention for the day. And when you go into the day believing that you're going to conquer and crush it, it makes all the difference in the world.
Totally. Yeah. It's so funny that you say that because it's true though. When you start off in this self-development world and you're trying to get better every day, you hear these, like you have to get these affirmations, do these affirmations, meditate, journal, do all this stuff. And you're like, that's so stupid. Why would I do that? Like, why? Exactly. And then you start doing it and it really does change your life in many ways. I've been a product of that and it definitely helps. Now, what other tips or mindset tips would you give your clients? Daily affirmations is one. What's another good one?
Part of like what I talk about for coaching is like, it's always good to have somebody in your corner, right? So when you start to feel down or you're starting to feel like I'm defeated, reach out to that person who can lift you up and support you and kind of remind you of how great that you are, because we all go through those phases. And I know like mindset is so huge, but we're still going to fail, right? We're still human. So we're going to have times where we forget those things about ourselves and we're going to doubt ourselves. And when we have that, that's why it's really great to have people in your corner to say, wait, no, you are awesome. Mistakes don't define you. The way you view things just changes everything. So I just try to focus on that. Like you can have bad days. You can have moments where you're down and you don't feel 100%, but you don't have to stay there. That's the important thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And most of us have a friend or a family member, somebody that maybe we could talk to a lot, if not a coach. I always say too, if you really have no one, join groups, join masterminds, right?
Yes.
Those are big. Yes. Connecting with people that are looking to grow and that are looking to connect and, help you in many ways. At least that's from my personal experience. I've joined a couple of masterminds, so it's definitely helped. So in the side of your business, right, your life coach, what's the, you're starting off, you're still in the corporate world. So is your idea to leave that corporate side and just dedicate fully on the life coach later on?
I don't know. It's a great question. I've thought about it for sure, but again, there's that part of me that really just loves business and I'm not sure I'd ever be able to like fully leave it. But I'm also one of those people who I'm like, oh, I dream of like, that day when you retire and you can sit on the beach and do nothing. And then I think to myself, like, have you forgotten who you are? Like, I can't sit still. So like I can do it for like 2 days. So I always kind of want to like have my hands in as much as possible because I like to go. So for me, it's fulfilling. And until it's not fulfilling, I will probably keep it in some way, shape, or form in my life. For
sure. It's funny. It's funny that you say that because we're painted this picture of retirement to 65 with your retirement, go to the beach every day, drink a margarita. After 2 days of doing that, you're going to freak out. You're going to go nuts. Cause what are you doing? Like, it's like, you got to have that purpose, that day-to-day drive. At least in my opinion, everybody's a little different, of course. But I mean, if it doesn't make sense for me, at least I feel like once you get to that point where you have nothing to aspire or do on a day-to-day basis, that's when you start dying. Cause you have nothing to start looking forward to, really. Like your life is essentially done and over. So awesome. That's good. So let's touch on your business side. So you're in the corporate side. You're in real estate?
I'm in real estate. Yeah.
What is an agent or an investor?
I am actually an agent. I don't really do too much anymore. I was in leasing. I started leasing outlet centers and then I moved to just leasing all types of commercial properties. And then I worked, I was the COO of a company for 6 years and I ran that brokerage.
Nice.
So now I'm still doing leasing stuff, but have moved kind of a little bit more into the coaching so I can do both. This way I can have the best of both worlds. So
you've probably thought about this already, but have you maybe considered doing in the future, right? Combining the coaching and the real estate, maybe to coach agents or people that lease?
Yeah, well, that's how I started with just coaching the agents that were working at the company and kind of like steering them in the right direction.
All right.
So yeah, I'm definitely probably going to mix that back in. And, health is a huge, huge part of my life. And I also really enjoy working with people, trying to help them create a lifestyle of health, because so many people don't live a lifestyle like that. And it's I work out 2 times a week. Is that good enough? Like, that's not what it's about. It's about being healthy and strong. And that really can help change your mindset too. If you're strong on the outside, you get strong on the inside by working out and those kinds of things. So it's a huge passion of mine as well.
Totally. Have you heard of the program 75 Hard?
I have.
Nice.
I have done it.
Nice.
Yes, I have. Yeah,
how'd it go?
Yeah. It was hard, right? Yeah. It was definitely hard, but I love a challenge. So if you challenge me, I am going to go for it. Guns blazing. Let's go. So nice. I love that kind of stuff. So I always try like to do something like I've done Tough Mudders, Spartans, those kinds of things. Nice. Yeah. So whatever I can do that's outside of my comfort zone, that's another thing I speak to my clients about. Yeah. If you're not pushing yourself and doing something outside of your comfort zone, you're never going to grow. So in order to grow, we have to push ourselves. Is it uncomfortable? Yes, it is, but it's only uncomfortable in the beginning. And then, that's how we evolve and keep going. And so, yeah, I love to, whatever I can find that seems a little risky for me or something that I wouldn't normally do, sign me up.
Go for it. You go for it. You were that absolutely. Girl when you were in school that they said no, you went and did it because you wanted to prove a point.
Exactly. Yep.
I get that. I'm in the same boat too. I always recommend the 75 Hard Challenge because it's free. It's basic, right? Like, it's very simple.
Yeah.
You buy the app. It's $5. You check off the list every day. It's right there, right in front of you. It takes discipline, right? But it's not, at first it's tough, right? But it's something that if you do that for 75 days, day 75, you're a completely new person.
Absolutely. There's no way you can walk through that and come out the same as you were when you started.
At all. Have you done it recently or you did it a while back ago?
No, I did it a couple years ago.
Okay. Nice. I'm actually on it right now. I'm on day 71.
Are you?
Yeah.
Ooh, you're almost there.
I'm almost there, but technically I'm in day 102 because I failed 30 days in. I didn't take a freaking picture. Yeah. But it's like, if you listen to Andy, it's all about accountability, mainly self-accountability, right? So it's about yourself and how you hold yourself to higher standards. So it was tough for me to restart, but I did it and now I'm happy about it. And I think I'm going to go straight to phase 1 just to get the momentum going.
Awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's something like I used to think I wasn't a competitive person by any means. And I thought like I would bow out of things if like it got too intense just because I didn't like the underlying side of competition where people got, angry. Yeah. And so I was like, I guess I'm not competitive, but I've learned like I am so unbelievably competitive when it comes to myself. All right. Okay. So that's why 75 Hard is great for someone like me, because I will hold myself accountable. And if I do fail, I'm going to keep, I'll push even harder. Okay. So for me, I love those types of challenges. They're great.
Nice. So I have a challenge for you that you got to get back to me if you do it. I'm doing it starting Thursday. So it's the last 2 days of my challenge. Have you heard of David Goggins before?
Oh yes. I've read his book. He's incredible.
Nice. Yeah. I have it right behind me too. So he created this challenge called the 4x4, I believe it's called. So you run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. Every 4 hours.
Wow.
So you're running 4 miles. So I don't run much, but I'm athletic and I play basketball and golf and all that. So I feel like I could do it, but I'm going to go for it. Why not? It's the last day. I want to challenge myself just like you. I'm the same way. I'm like, okay, I've done 75 Hard. It's starting to feel really easy now. Like it's not like way too easy, like reading, working out twice. Now let's just try it out. Let's see what happens. 4x4. Look it up and let me know if you do it. To see how
I'm going to. That is he is a machine. Like, it is wild. His story is wild and it's incredible and so inspiring. I actually tell clients to read that book often. But that's a lot. That 4 miles every 4 hours, that's a lot. And I run, but I don't like to run, but I do it anyways,
Same.
you know.
Same,
So.
but I'd assume that at the end I'm gonna walk a decent amount, because if you're not used to running 4 miles every 4 hours, you're gonna have to slow it down and keep your pace and not overdo it.
Yeah, the thing with that is like you could beat yourself up, right? Because you're walking, or you could change your mindset and realize you're continuing with something, you're following through. That's what matters. That's what's important, is that you didn't quit, you didn't give up, and you kept going. And you can use those lessons in life over and over.
And I know I'm going all over the place, but you just touched on a point that's so important. And I was talking to my girlfriend about it yesterday. It's so true. It's like, when you think about something, you automatically think about, it's like your survival mind, the negative aspect of it. Like right there, I said it right. And I'm trying to correct myself, but it's tough. But 4x4x4. And like in my head, I'm like, at the end, I'm going to walk, rather than like, dude, I'm going to finish this walking, crawling, or I'm going to finish it one way or another.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so important. Just the way you think about things, instead of beating ourselves up over things, which, I mean, what is that? Where's the outcome? No good ever comes from beating yourself up for, failing at something. And I don't ever see it as a failure. It's a growth opportunity, right?
Yeah.
You don't do something right. You make a mistake. Okay. What can I learn from it? Like, what can I take so that I can grow from this experience? Because honestly, we don't really learn and grow without quote unquote failing. You just don't. That's how we learn. And if we can learn to embrace that fact instead of belittling ourselves, like, there's just so many things you can do.
Yeah. It's very, in a sense too, it's right. It's super simple to say, but it's easier said than done. And at the end of the day, it's very complex too, because it's like, and I'm very, it's fresh for me. I did Tony Robbins Unleashing the Power Within last weekend. And
awesome.
He goes on, and it hit home for me, because he talks about values, right? So I value success and growth. But if your towards away values are the opposite, so for example, one of my towards away values was failure or rejection, that doesn't align. So there's a problem that creates anxiety and doesn't let me push forward. So yeah, it's so complex, but it's something that people need to understand. I feel like once you know how your brain works, at least try to control your thoughts, your life improves dramatically.
It really does. And it can be daunting for sure. But that's again where those little things like daily affirmations, which you think are, like I did, complete bogus and weren't going to do anything. It was little by little, there was a shift in my brain that went, oh, okay. And just changing those little things. Like everybody says 1% every day. And it's true. Making a change to be better just by 1% every day amounts to a gigantic amount. So it's really important.
Totally. And one thing you said too is trying new things, right? Ed Milet says the best, extremity expands capacity. Put yourself into new challenges, into new spots. You'll grow that way. So I get that. And I'm really glad you came on the show. It's been great so far. I like to ask 2 final questions to my guests. It's more to help the audience find a way to improve, right? So one of the questions is, what's one book that you would recommend to anybody that has helped you dramatically?
The Way You Talk to Yourself. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I think it is. It's huge. It's huge because it teaches you, again, all of these things and how you just your mindset and saying like, I'm not good at this. If you rewire your brain, just go read it. It's amazing. What to say when you talk to yourself. That's what it's called. What to say when you talk to yourself. That's
hilarious. That's so funny. It's like we're in line here. I actually bought that book a couple of days ago. It's right below me. I'm pretty sure it's the one that we're talking about. It's rather small and simple. It's like it's probably like 100, 200 pages, right?
Yeah. It's not long. No, cool. It's very good. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And what's one documentary, podcast, not audiobook, because we just spoke about book, but podcast, movie, or documentary that's really impacted you positively and changed your life in a good way?
Oh, wow. That's a tricky question.
Yes.
Man, there's so many. Like, where do I begin? Wow, that's a great one.
It's funny because it always leaves everyone like, You put me on the spot.
It's so true. Yeah. But that's good, right?
Yeah.
Because again, you have to challenge yourself.
Yeah. No.
You know what's going to happen is I'm going to get off with you and I'm going to be like, I should have said this.
Yes,
and like all of the things are going to start coming to my mind as soon as we get off, but that's okay. That's not a problem. We can talk David Goggins because we brought him up. His story is certainly inspirational. And again, I recommend it to clients just because it proves that you can do whatever you set your mind to. So
totally. You know what too? I don't know if you've seen it, the Joe Rogan interview, his podcast with David Goggins. He has two of them. The first one's the main one where he tells his whole story. It's unreal. It's a 3.5 hour show, but it goes deep. And like the way you could just tell this guy has gone through hell and back just when he talks about it. It's crazy. Well,
the first time I read his book, quote unquote, I did the audiobook, which is I would recommend to everybody just because he gets on and kind of, tells more of the story in between the chapters. Okay. So you get a much broader look at his life story and everything he's done. So it's like the inside secret. So I would definitely recommend. That's one book. I'm not an audiobook person because I like the feel of paper and that's like my thing, but this is one I would recommend. Definitely check out.
That guy. Wow. I mean,
right. I know it's like when I'm running sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. I hate this. I want to give up. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Like, what are you doing? No. And then, I start telling myself I can do this. I am awesome. And sometimes I think of his story, like if this guy can go from, I forget how much he weighed at that time and then lost all that weight and did all of that running, I can do it too.
And look at him now.
Exactly. He changed his whole entire life.
Yeah. And it's funny. There's levels to this, right? And there was a story he was saying in the show I was watching, how he was running, him and his partner or somebody, they were planning on running 100 miles. But then a 100-mile hit and none of them wanted to stop.
Yes.
They went on and on and on. I think for like 180 something miles. Like I'm talking about half a day more of running because none of them wanted to stop. That's just another level of just mindset, mental toughness.
It is. I mean, that's another thing. Like I say to people who are starting to work out and like feel like an hour is daunting or even 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're out of shape. So do 10 minutes. And then oftentimes and I say that to myself on days I don't want to work out. And I'm like, I'm just not really feeling this. I go, you know what? No, you can do 10 minutes. There's no reason you can't do 10 minutes. Yeah. And 10 minutes in, your endorphins start to like go and you're like, wait a minute, I can keep going. And 10 minutes turns into 20 and 20 into 30. And it's incredible. You just have to, the way you think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the power of one more, kind of like at my Let's Eat book. It's true. In the moment, just one more day. And just, when the task is daunting and big, just take it step by step. That's the best way. Because if you think about it in the top, you're going to freak out and not want to do it. So yeah, totally. Well, Rebecca, thank you so much again for coming on the show. Where can the audience find you? What's your Instagram, Twitter, social media?
Sure. So everything is my name, Rebecca Matulonis. And my website is RebeccaMatulonis.com. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, guys, I'll have this on the notes as always. Rebecca, again, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for having me. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Ever wonder what sets the winners apart from the losers? And what does it really mean to be a winner? My name is Federico, and I'm a young, successful entrepreneur passionate about sports, business, mindset, and real estate. If you are just like me and you want to crack the code to victory, then Winning Ways Podcast is made for you.